Power rankings are released, and it's not cheeks. Show some love to our quarterback by placing 16 in the comment section. Show some love to Jared Goff. In this video, we're going to be going over the latest Detroit Lions news for you folks. Carlton Davis, he spoke to the media after the game, talked about the referees. We're going to analyze what he said. Is he right or wrong? Lions depth and the importance of it. Seattle Seahawks fans are upset. The only thing they say that we won is because of injuries for their team. We're going to set the record straight there and show them about real injuries here. Lions power rankings. Where are they after the Lions' victory over the Seattle Seahawks? Lions and Cowboys, that's the next game they face. We're in a bye week coming up this Sunday, but we can look at them now. And Jared Goff being absolutely stunning. Let's go ahead and start with Carlton Davis speaking to the media about the referees. Says, I don't want to get fined because they are sensitive about this, but honestly, bro, I can't say what I want to say, but honestly, I feel like as they just on the Seahawks side today, Davis said, I don't know what I did. Maybe I should take them to dinner or something. I don't know. Follow them to an Instagram, but today was not the day. They're calling PIs where it's not even grabbing. It's not even like, oh my gosh, it was just a touch. Bang, bang stuff, which is football. We're just battling, and DK's a physical receiver. That's going to happen when you get into a physical corner and a physical receiver, and that's just that. So he was upset with all of the pass interferences that's been taking place, and the Lions been penalized like crazy so far this year. Is he right? I think both. I think there is yes and no. They have been more touchy and grabby, and you got to look at the NFL and say that the flags are up. There was plays last night I didn't see pass interference, and I agree with them. Then some I did. I think that the NFL is absolutely ruining the game because I think this is an issue throughout all of the NFL this year. It is constant flags. So much flags. Games are getting longer. Analysts, broadcasters are getting annoyed by it because it's ruining the game, in my opinion. Too much flags. We need to slow it down. But that's just my take. What do you guys think? Are the referees ruining the game? Are for ruin? And if you don't believe so, give me your thoughts in the comments. Let's get into depth because I've been seeing this from the Seattle Seahawks fans that the Detroit Lions only won because their starting defensive line was out. Well, that did absolutely help the case because your starters are not playing. That is the whole point of depth. This is not about the starting 22, 11 on offense and 11 on defense. It's about your 53-man roster and your practice squad. The importance of depth because players are going to be injured. Dan Campbell spoke to Troy Aikman and Buck before the game, and he talked about how he has players, reserve players, in this case like a Keuta Osika, other players too, the second string, that get practice time during the week. The importance of keeping your depth players on task. Why is that? Because you're going to have to use them. They're that important, and that's why we talk about all offseason the 53-man roster. So, Seattle Seahawks fans, get better depth if that's what you're complaining. And if you want to say, oh, it's just because of injuries, you had 4 starters out. I'm going to show you the Lions IR list. This is who did not play in this past game against you guys. Frank Ragnow out. He's probably the best center in football. Brian Branch out. Could be the best safety in football. Christian Mahogany, he ain't even play yet. John Kaminsky, IR in training camp. Broderick Martin, IR in training camp. Nate Ling, IR in training camp. They've about an IR. Afutu Malfanu, one of our best safeties, hasn't played yet. Emmanuel Mosley, IR, but hurt himself in training camp. Marcus Davenport last week. Derek Barnes, IR. Michael Badgley, IR. Now, some of these guys are backups, but you got Derek Barnes, Marcus Davenport, Emmanuel Mosley, who's going to be part of this defense. Same with John Kaminsky, Broderick Martin, Afutu Malfanu, Brian Branch, and Frank Ragnow. So I don't want to hear this idea that we only won because of injuries. We are destroyed with our injuries as well, and same with a lot of teams. You got to have the depth. If you don't have depth, it's pointless, folks. So don't complain at us. Complain at your general manager. Complain that they're not doing good enough for your backup players to get those times. I understand. It sucks. You did lose your front defensive line, and it does make it worse. But we've been injured as well, and same with the rest of the NFL. It's the way that it works. Let's get into the power rankings, and some movement has changed. We're going to talk about CBS Sports HQ, because you know I love to talk about Pete Prisco here. Sports Illustrated got the second best team. I don't know why I put Seth, but it's the second best team in the NFL. I love it. I like it, and I want some more of it, but Sports Illustrated has been consistent. CBS Sports HQ, the most inconsistent poller in all of sports. 2 weeks ago, the Lions were 11th. Last week, they were 10th. Now they go all the way to 5th. You got to stop looking week by week by week. You have to look at the totality. And this is what's the problem with Pete Prisco. He doesn't look at the totality. He looks week by week by week. And I think that you can't do that in this NFL. You got to be able to go multiple, look at the totality, so you don't look like Boo-Boo the Fool when things change. Because now it's just like, oh, they win, extremely high. Oh, low, extremely low. Teams are going to lose, Pete Prisco. Teams are going to lose. Before we go on, where do you rank the Detroit Lions in the power rankings? 1, if you think they're the best team in the NFL. 32, if you think they're the worst. The Athletic, consistent here, 5th, between 5th and 4th all the way. Very consistent with ESPN as well. 4th, it's between 4th and 5th throughout the whole season. Yahoo Sports got 3rd. USA Today at 4th. So, again, we're seeing a lot of consistencies. There's no outlier here. CBS Sports HQ's Pete Prisco put him back in the top 5. And that's just the way that he did right there. So, it is what it is. But you want to know what's crazy is if you look at some of the analysts after the game, you would have thought that the Detroit Lions lost the game last night. I'm getting people say, I'm going to see the analysts on YouTube, this Lions, they didn't look that good. They talked about how great Seattle Seahawks are. I think I'm living in bizarro world. Jared Goff not getting the credit he deserves? Well, let's just talk about this because we're going to do this here on our channel. We're going to give this man credit because he made history last night. 18 for 18. 292 yards, an average of 16.2, average 2 touchdowns. Jared Goff was perfect. Perfect last night. And that deserves a Ultra Combo. Ultra Combo! Jared Goff was perfect last night. And this offense was surgical. A lot of people talked about, I don't know that the offense, what am I going to do? What are we going to do? It's not going to be good. I told you that this offense would get back on track. Why is that? Because I take years of tape over a couple of weeks. In the beginning of an NFL season, it's sometimes teams are just not who they are officially there. You got to wait till probably week 6, 7, 8 to really start to see how teams are going to be. Sometimes you have outliers where teams suck in the beginning of the season, and then they get on a streak like the Bengals, boom. Sometimes people are fast to start the season, and then they get figured out, teams, they change up, there you go. Lions just put up 42 points on offense. Looked amazing. Absolutely stunning. And when you have players that can make plays, you're going to look great, right? You're going to look awesome. But when you get all your players looking good, even Tim Patrick looking good, that's where you can be an amazing offense. And by the way, he is helping this offense get better. That separation, he's big. He's now jumping into that Josh Reynolds role, and I love to see it. And the depth for this team is just outstanding. When you can have Frank Ragnow come out, a lot of people worried, and I was not worried about that. I said Graham would be good in the center. Keudu Eusika will be just fine at left guard, and it did just that. Because the team is a veteran team. They've done it before. They've been in this offense for years now. They understand the play calling. Of course, it's gonna at some point get really crisp. That's just what's gonna happen. Of course, players are going to be good. It's just the way it is. So again, show some love to our quarterback by placing 16 in the comments. He deserves all the love in today's video. Lions got to face the Dallas Cowboys, and this is going to be, obviously not this week, it's the bye week, but after that. And I really do believe the Lions are a much better team than the Dallas Cowboys. I think they are. I think the Lions travel down there. I do believe Seattle is better than the Dallas Cowboys at this point in time. I believe the Arizona Cardinals are better than the Dallas Cowboys at this time. Dallas nearly lost to the New York Giants. They're a team that's having some issues, and I think the Lions can go down there and win that game. So if they're 4-1, guess who they face after that? The Minnesota Vikings at Minnesota. That literally could be to see who takes first place for the NFC. That would be the big game of the week, for sure. The Lions, if they can go into Minnesota and get to 5-1, and then who knows what the record at that point is for the Vikings, Lions then could have that beat over them early in the season. That would be amazing. And obviously, you look at the Green Bay Packers, they just took an L there. You know, a lot of people talked about Green Bay taking that next step. It's not happening. And Chicago, they're taking a step in the wrong direction. I thought they'd be better than what they are this year. Right now, they're 2-2, but the Lions are doing just fine. So, all in all, this is a great start to the Lions season. Lions are 3-1. They were 3-1 last year. This time, though, we beat Seattle, and I feel much better this year at this point in time than I did last year because we beat Seattle. We beat the Rams. Yeah, we lost to the Buccaneers. Okay. But we've been getting beat by Seattle for some time, and the offense exploded, and the Lions are 3-1, and they were undefeated. So I feel good in that aspect. So let me know your thoughts in the comments right now about the Lions season. With that said, folks,